good morning, good afternoon or good evening, depending on when you're watching this, and welcome to the Grianaig Creations podcast channel. This is episode 87. My name is Kirsty, my pronouns are they, them, and I am coming to you from Paisley in Scotland. I have a cup of tea here in my new mug that I'll talk about later. It's a glorious day outside that's kind of making my eyes a wee bit water because I'm looking like basically behind the camera, and in front of me is my very big window in my craft room. I'm in a slightly different location today because Scott is home and has got some stuff that he needs to do downstairs, so I've taken upstairs, hence all the pop heads and the stuff in the background, and just generally a different setup. So, I'm looking around at the mess that the room is in, so that's kind of distracting me a wee bit, so I'll be tidying up after I've recorded and edited and uploaded, or whilst it's uploading. Let's get comfy, shall we? This is when I knock my phone off. I have one finished knitting project. I have no crochet. I have a finished spinning project that I might show off. It's still downstairs because I just totally forgot about it. And I have a work in progress spinning project as well. I have some new things that I have purchased, and I have a wee bladder section as well. So buckle in, grab a cup of tea, a wee snack, some sort of crafting project, whatever you're working on this week, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so first up, first I need to put the tea down. Where am I going to put it? I'll just put it on the floor. Okay, so first up is my finished object. I got my hat finished. It seems very tight and it is a very snug hat, but I'm okay with that. It fits me really, really well. Oh, I haven't trimmed my ends. I've sewn them in, but I've not trimmed them. So it fits. Oh, my rim's folded up. See? It does fit. Let's mess all my hair up now. So this is just a very basic beanie, nothing special about it. It was knit in yarn from the supermarket Aldi in one of their hat yarns. Like, it's actually like an 85-gram ball of yarn designed for making hats. And it took me a while to actually knit this. I don't know why it took me so long to make, considering it's very basic. The only thing I done was a twisted knit stitch on the rib, just to make it real snug, because I end up making so many hats that then just become ridiculously loose. So this one has been knit tight for a reason, so that it's just a real good wear out of it. So that is my only finished object for this episode, but it is a nice finished object. It's just a shame that the weather got real good here in Scotland. Like, we have had glorious weather for about a week now. Nothing compared to the temperatures we got in summer last year, thankfully, but we have been sitting at about 15-16 degrees, and so not exactly hot weather. And I was making hats to try and cover up my hair, so I'm either going to have to just bear with the growing out phase and just grin and bear it, or I need to find something else to kind of cover up my hair. So that's my only finished object for this week. And I have technically 4 works in progress. One I haven't worked on in quite a while, but I didn't show the progress that I'd made on it, so I'll show that one later. But the first one is just What have I done? Yep, I've tangled it. The first one is just another hat. I'm making this one a bit looser. I'm actually following the stitch count in the Ross hat pattern. So this is just being knit in exactly the same yarn as the first one that I showed you, with what I have left over. But I'm doing it in a different order. So this one was going blue, white, purple, blue. We're just going to go blue, blue, purple, white. So baby blue, dark blue, purple and white. So that's just another hat that I'm working on. Just another Ross hat. Have I? No, I've not done something wrong. It's just the change in colours. I was like, I've done something wrong. So this one is different in the sense that I'm actually following the pattern. So it's a 3x2 rib. I'm not twisting the stitches, and I have got the correct stitch count. On the other one, I think I only cast on 108 stitches, whereas with this one I've cast on the full 130. So this one is going to be looser, and I'm okay with that because I've planned for it. So we'll see. I will definitely have a lot of hats for winter, that's for sure. The next project, hopefully I won't get everything all tangled up. Let's put that back down on the floor. This is the summer court tank that I am working on, and I think I've made a fair amount of progress on this. It is almost the length I want. I should have finished knitting the length. If I was doing it according to pattern, I think I should have finished about here. But I've gone on and knit a wee bit more, and also increased my stitches. I don't know if you can see that increase here. Like, I put increases here and then I put more increases here because of my issue doing the Dustlin sweater. So basically buckle in, because we are going to discuss the gauge. When I swatched for the Dustland, which I did actually swatch, I did not swatch for the summer court tank. I done a swatch for the Dustland sweater, and I could get gauge, but on a 5mm needle. And I didn't like the fabric. I'm pretty sure I've discussed this. Either that or I'm just recalling from the Instagram lives I done. I didn't like the gauge that I was getting on a 5mm needle. And I went down to, so I started on a 4 on the other yarn that I've put away now. Then I went up to a 4.5, and then I tried on a 5. And I got gauge on the 5mm needle. Didn't like the fabric. I thought it was too loose, and I wanted a tighter fabric that was less, like you couldn't see as much through it, and it was just overall a slightly stiffer fabric. And I was getting a nice gauge, like a nice fabric, sorry, on a 4.5. But I was getting, I can't even recall what is the gauge requirement for the Dustland. Downloads. Dustland. So the gauge for the Dustland is 18 stitches per 4 inches. I don't really pay close attention to row gauge because I can either knit it longer or shorter, but the stitch count is 18 stitches over 4 inches. I was getting 20 stitches over 4 inches, so I was getting more stitches. In my head, I thought that because I had more stitches it would be too big. That's how my brain worked it out. And so I put a plea out on Instagram asking for help because I wasn't sure. I don't understand gauge. My brain doesn't really accept trying to work it out. I do have diagnosed learning difficulties. I don't go into them. I don't talk about them. So I was really struggling to figure out if I was right or not. So I put out an Instagram video asking for people's help to figure out, was I correct? Was my garment going to be 5 inches bigger? Or was I completely off? Like, had I worked out the math wrong? Turns out I'd worked out the math correct, but it was going to be 5 inches smaller. So obviously with that, thank you to everyone that came and helped me, because had it not, the sweater would not have fitted me. It would have had negative ease instead of positive ease. And so we managed to fix the dustland. I cast on the bigger size than I was going to. I still have all the right amount of yardage, meterage, whatever you want to call it. I shouldn't run out. So that's absolutely fine. But I was working on this as a kind of palette cleanser with the dustland, because there's a lot of purling in the dustland. If you don't like purling, do not do the dustland. And so I picked up this as a type of palette cleanser, or just like a wee break project, because I am just knitting in the round. I am doing helical knitting, which can be a pain because every time I always go past where I'm meant to stop and pick up the next yarn. But otherwise it is just a very straightforward knit project. And because the issue with gauge was so fresh in my mind with the dustland, I kind of thought, oh wait, I should probably check to make sure this is going to be big enough for me. I could have just tried it on, honestly. Like, I really could have just tried it on. But I sat down, I got my ruler out, I measured the amount of stitches I had, I checked the pattern. I was going to be small, on the small side again. Because my gauge, I had more stitches than the designer. Because, again, didn't like the fabric on the needles and that they asked for. It was far too loose for a tank top. Far too loose. I would have definitely have had to have worn another tank top underneath this, and that's not really the point in a tank top. So long story short, I measured the gauge on this far too late in the project, but I have been able to salvage it. That is the silver lining. I've officially been able to salvage it because I started on the called for needles and didn't like the fabric on the lace section. By the time I have moved down to a fabric I was happy with, was about here. That gives enough leeway for my stomach. This section here is fine, absolutely fine. I have tried on over a very baggy t-shirt and we are good. And then I thought, right, I need to increase for the bust. So I've increased it? That's definitely not good English. I have increased 2 sizes, not just 1, 2. So my first lot of stitches went up to the next size up stitch count. My next set after that was for the following second size. So I am now 2 sizes bigger, and this should come out at the size that I originally cast on for. Long way of saying, I fucked up and I fixed it. So it's almost the length I want. I don't think I'm worried about yarn. I will be very curious to see how much I have left when I'm done. But I held it up last night and my mum agrees that it's not quite long enough. Because I want to wear it as a tank. I do not want to wear it as a crop. I want to wear it as a tank top. And so this needs to go past my stomach. It needs to sit roughly about my hip for me to be happy with it. And so I think I need to do another inch, and then I can separate and do the back and the front. And then obviously the sleeves as well. Oh, that got cold very quickly. So, that is the Summer Court tank. That is a pattern by Dragon Hoard Yarns, which is Tristan. I nearly said Kristen. It's definitely not Kristen. And I am knitting this in Flail Snail. That's the colourway, by Chromatic Yarns. It looks a bit crazy, but I love it. It's definitely a bit different. It hasn't pulled, which I'm really grateful, because I think I would actually be curious to see how this yarn would work up on its own without doing helical knitting, if it would pull and how that pulling would look. But because I'm doing helical knitting, it has hardly pulled at all. There's maybe like 1 or 2 sections where the white seems to have hit the row above and the row below. But I can always work out which side. I think that's going to be my front, because it seems to have a lot less, or at least if it's pulled literally white upon white, then it's in slightly shorter areas. I don't know. I'll need to lay it out and have like a proper good look at it. But yeah, the Flail Snail colourway is by Chromatic Yarns, which is the Hannah from the Corner of Craft. You probably have all heard of her. She's a lovely human being. She dyes up really great yarn. I had started knitting this yarn in a different project, and then there was just something about the project itself, like the pattern, that I couldn't work out and get to look like like what it was in the pattern, even though I was doing exactly what it said. And because it didn't look like the pattern, which had a really neat decrease line, because mine didn't look like that, I hated it. It looked horrible. I couldn't get it to look like the pattern, and I ripped the whole thing out, and I haven't cast on since for that one. And I'm pretty sure that was the Parachute by Stephen West. So either I was doing something wrong, highly likely, or how it's written in the pattern, not the best. So this is my Summer Court tank, and hopefully it is going to be ready and that the good weather keeps coming in Scotland, although I keep having to put on factor 50 and that's not always fun. I'm naturally ginger and I burn very quickly. Okay, more tea. I'm also watching 2 planes in the sky. I'm trying to figure out if they're the ones my dad told me about earlier, but I doubt it. Everyone's jet setting off somewhere nice. Person that's coming to fix their toilets in Lanzarote right now. Okay, tea will officially not go cold. Oh, sorry guys. Okay, next project is the Dustland. I took this to my parents last night and I just decided I didn't want to purl. I really should have put this on a bigger cable because it is very scrunched up. I am loving this project. It is making me extremely happy. Excuse me. Let's move out some stitches so you can see it. So I'm on the moss stitch section just now. And just you can just really see the texture in this project. It's really, really lovely. and also really covered in cat hair. So yeah, it's really beautiful project, but there is a lot of purling, and it's currently over 300 stitches, which also doesn't help. You all might be aware of my aversion to over 300 stitches. But slow, steady progress. That is literally what's happening with this sweater. It is slow, steady progress, and it's definitely not a sweater that I will be in a rush to finish, because already it's a very thick sweater. Remembering that I have a tighter gauge, I think. Yeah, tighter gauge, because I've got more stitches than what Stephen West calls for. He calls for 18, no, 18 is the summer court tank. Oh, I'm getting confused. 18 is the Dustland. I am getting 20 stitches in 4 inches. And so mine is tighter, which means it's denser. And it's also DK weight. So this is not a project I'm going to be wearing anytime soon. So I am in no rush to complete it. I love working on it, which is obviously a great thing. It doesn't hurt my hands, which is fantastic. And yeah. I don't really know what else to say. I just really like this project. I'm so glad I just got the pattern and decided to cast on. And talking of casting on, so many of you lovely folks wanted to join in on casting on for any of the Dustland items that Stephen West has brought out. Should have brought this up slightly earlier, but hey ho. Let me check. That's not how you spell the word. So you have the Dustland shawl, sweater, hat, mittens, and leg warmers. Didn't know they had leg warmers. And I'm not a big leg warmer person. So yeah, the knit along is for any of the Dustland items, any of those patterns by Stephen West. So if you wanted to join on and missed the cast on party, do not fret. This is going to be a long term cast on. The cast on date, or the start of it, was the 18th? Yeah, that sounds about right. Either the 18th or the 11th. I really should know this. Oh, wrong button. Yep, 18th. So we had a cast on party on the 18th through Instagram, because that's what everyone, well, not everyone, that's what the majority got, was Instagram Live instead of Zoom. Because I think a lot of people are kind of just getting sick of Zoom right now. It's been 2 years. I use it out with COVID reasons. So I really don't mind Zoom. It's some of the ways I keep in touch with some of my knitting group. And so I put a poll out on my Instagram saying, these are the dates that I'm available. Everyone else pick which one. So the one that had the most votes was the one that won. And then I done the same for how would you want to do the cast on party, through Instagram Live or through Zoom. And so the majority picked Friday the 18th at 8 PM and also on Instagram Live. So we done that, and it was really, really great. We cast on, and I know some people haven't been able to cast on yet, so do not fret. This is going to be a long-term project. I do not currently have an end date. I don't plan on making one anytime soon. So if you want to join us on the Dustland Cal, which is you can use the hashtag GCDustlandCal, K-A-L. I will put all of that in the description box below. Then please feel free to come and join us. We would love for you to come be a part of it. I will maybe draw prizes. Have not decided yet, haven't stated whether I will or not, so I'm going to decide as time progresses. So, the project that I forgot to show is in this bag. Does anyone recognise it? Well, why would you? This is where my shawl has been. I have been looking for this. Why on earth is that in my knitting bag? I've been looking for this for about 2 weeks now. It's in this bag! It is the humongous, the heavy, but the beautiful Marled Magic sweater. It still has needles because, right, I'm going to drop that and possibly break it, so let's put that down. It still has needles in it because I haven't decided what colour of the I-cord I want. I'm thinking neon orange or similar. And I don't have neon orange. So part of me is like, just pull out your stash, have a look through it, pick something from there. Because that would be the smart option. The non-smart option is screaming neon orange, neon orange, neon orange. And I haven't decided which of those options is winning, if any. So, let's see. Where's my other sleeve? This is still going to be my screenshot. Yep, it has been bound together on both sides. It just literally needs the sleeves on both. I'm not sure, I am really not sure if there's something for the neck. And then I-cord, meters and meters and meters of I-cord that I need to do round the bottom of the top. And then it's done. That is literally what is holding this up, is the amount of I-cord I'm going to have to do. This 2 sleeves, and I think there's something in the neckband. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. There is something around the neckband. So yeah. I'm going to pull my stash out. I'm going to see if I have anything that I can use. And because that's the sensible thing to do. The sensible thing to do is check my stash and see if I have anything that means I don't need to pay out more money. But I'm really having that internal battle where my heart wants neon orange. So we'll see. We'll see which one wins. This is a very heavy jumper thing. And so with the weather we've been having in spring, I have a feeling I'm not going to be pulling this out again until winter. But I want to get it finished. I want to say it's finally done. So I'm in no rush to pull out my stash because this room is a mess as it is. By pulling out all my stash, I'm just going to cause an even bigger mess, and I really don't have the heart to do that. If I'm honest, I am very close to burnout. So yeah, It is, like, I totally forgot to show it off in the last podcast, and that really annoyed me after I finished recording, and I was like, I'm not. My camera stopped recording. I also do not have the best amount of battery. So yeah, I don't know where it stopped, so, yeah. I also like how it looks if you do it. Oh, that was my ring that snagged. I also really like how it looks at the front, but the front goes longer. So I was really debating actually keeping it, like, I really nearly kept it as like a cardigan, and I just decided, nope, we'll put the back on, we'll have it the correct way around, where the back is actually the back, because I tried it on back to front and it goes a lot longer, and so it looked funny having it really long at the front and really high up at the back. But at least this way you can see some of the colours. I tried to do a bit of a fade in this last panel, and I thought it looked really good, but holding it up at the camera it just looks like I've really quickly changed colours when I actually did fade them. So yeah, right, I'm going to take it off. I am overheating. But yeah, I just wanted to show you it is almost complete. It just needs sleeves, a ton of I-cord and a neckband, and it's done. But for now, until I feel like I have the energy, it's just going to go into hibernation. Okay, so I really got into a spinning kick about probably just after the last podcast, and I pulled out some fibre, and it was remnants from Spin Jones, and there was nothing, like, I think the remnants had been put into packs with similar tones or shades, and because I ended up getting 2 packets, and one was definitely a lot more summer pastel, and the other one, ooh, I'm trying to think what the other colour was, I can't quite remember. And so I picked up the summer pastel one thinking, oh, the way it's been put in the bag I could do a gradient. But when I pulled everything out the bag, it wasn't quite the gradient I thought I would get away with. And so I laid it all out, and I thought, right, do you know what I really want to try? I really want to try a traditional 3-ply. When I do a 3-ply, I do a chain ply. So I always have one strand of yarn that then becomes a 3-ply. And so I really want to try a traditional 3-ply, where I have 3 bobbins full of yarn, and then I end up with 1 bobbin full of yarn. I got all the fibre out. What is that? Is that? I don't know what I've done there. Right, let's not mess around with it. I laid out all my fibre, I split it up into 3 piles, and I currently have 2 bobbins that look like this. Well, obviously I have this one. And when I had it laid out on the sofa, I don't tend to put all my crafting stuff away at the end of the night. I tend to leave it sitting on the sofa, which must drive... Oh, Jesus, I have to stop doing that. Sorry. Must drive Scott up the wall. That I just leave things out. But if I'm going to use it the next day, what's the point in putting it away? And so I'd left all my fibre out, lined up one after the other. And the next morning, I think Scott had woken up before me, and he was just like, I couldn't, help but wonder what was going on here and if you had killed all the My Little Ponies. And so when this is finished, I am naming this yarn the My Little Pony Massacre. Just as like a shits and giggle thing. But I thought it was funny, and I put a picture up on my Instagram stories, and a lot of other people found it funny as well. So yeah, when this yarn is done, it is going to be the My Little Ponies Massacre. So I only have one more bobbin. Oh, sorry, I need to get comfy. I only have one more bobbin to do. Last weekend, it was last Sunday, so yeah, a week ago, Scott was up in Glasgow with one of his buddies, and I decided to sit outside in the sunshine and do some spinning. I took my Ashford Joy, totally forgot the name of that, took my Ashford Joy outside, set up. It was a bit chilly. It was only maybe about 10 degrees, but the wind was quite strong. So I didn't stay out too long. I got the bobbin finished, like the bundle of fibre I had. But I'd also left my extra bobbin in the flat, and I really didn't want to, in the area I live in, I didn't want to leave a spinning wheel outside unattended, even if it was only going to be like 5 minutes. I just didn't want to do it. So when I finished the bundle of fluff I was working on and the bobbin, I just decided to call it quits and come back inside because I was getting pretty cold. I did a little bit of knitting outside after I'd finished the bobbin, but I didn't stay out probably as long as I would have if it was warmer. So yeah, I literally have one more bobbin to do and then I can ply them, and then I will have my little unicorn massacre yarn. I've got no idea how it's going to come out. I haven't spun anything in a particular order to get a particular end yarn. Like some yarns I have knit. I'm looking at the last one I spun, and I spun it. I don't know why I keep saying I knit it. I spun it in such a way that I would get a self-striping yarn. I didn't do that this time. I didn't try to get a gradient, I didn't try and do anything. I just picked up a colour as it came to me and spun it, I would say fairly consistently. There is a bit where there's like some nubs of yarn and that's not consistent, but I did try to spin it fairly consistently because I know I was going to be doing a 3-ply at the end of this. So one more to go. Don't know when I'm going to get to it if I'm honest, but I am looking forward to the finished result. not kick the tripod again. I'm a bit breathless today and I don't know why. Okay. I am on a virtual knitting group, and it is the International Virtual Knit Nights, and I have been a member now for 4 years? Maybe? I don't know when I joined actually. And I joined on, I want to say Saturday, a week ago. I could easily just check my emails to see when I ordered this. See, knitting people are, what's the word? I can't think. I genuinely can't think what the word is. Well, maybe it was Tuesday night. 19th. No, it was Saturday. Knitting people are bad influences. That's not the word I was looking for, but knitting people are bad influences because they talk about when things are on sale that you didn't know were on sale. And so you end up... Yeah, I don't know what those words are. You end up kind of getting into the conversation and hearing parts of it and then putting the two together, and then you, before you know it, you have a cone of yarn arriving at your house. So let me just check. Just trying to find out what the content is. So I was on the virtual knit nights, sorry Phil, and they were talking about Host, which is in Denmark. I have ordered from Host before. I knit my love note, my first love note in Host, and now I have this. So I currently, until this arrived, only had Host Super Soft, and this is Host Coast, and that is 55% merino lambswool and 45% cotton. There is approximately 350 meters per 50 grams, and this is a 500 gram cake. Cake? Cone. Wrong thing. So it's called Saffron, and on the camera, what I can see, excuse me, because I have a wee screen above the camera, it's coming up a lot redder than it is, but this is a really rustic orange. I don't know, I can't tell. I've got light in front of me and this is definitely not showing the true colour. So this will definitely be a sweater of some form or other. I'll probably double it up to be a DK weight. Yeah, probably going to double it up. I don't mind a fingering weight sweater. I really don't. It just takes a long time. Especially in my size. Okay. Wee bit more. Oh, I forgot I had those. Okay. So I went down to my hometown yesterday in Inverclyde, and I was going down to help a friend and see my best friend and my goddaughters, and then I was staying the night at my mum and dad's to rest and just see them, have dinner with them. And whilst I was there, I thought, do you know what, I'm going to go into my old LYS and see what they have and say hi to Mary. So, hi Mary! I don't know if you watch, but the Wee Crafty Owl in Greenock is a fantastic yarn shop. I fully support them. I love their whole shop. I wish it was still my LYS, but it isn't. Technically. I wonder which one's closer. Maybe it is my LYS. I just have to do a drive. Because we don't actually have a yarn shop in Paisley, which sucks. It closed. We have places that sell yarn, but it's not wool. So, the Wee Crafty was having a sale on, a wee summer sale, and I thought, I'll just go down, I'll have a look. Wee bit of money later. So the first thing I'm going to show off is this. I love sock yarn. I really have no cheek buying anymore, but I did. I got, oh I didn't know this, designed by Stuart Hillard. I got head over heels sock yarn in this gorgeous colour way. So this is shade 1162 Amazon, which makes sense actually now that I look at it. And this is Colours of the World, Stripe Up Your Life. Ooh, I can't wait to cast this on. So that's how it's going to look when it's knit up. So I got that one. Mary has a great selection of sock yarn. She has mostly West Yorkshire spinners, head over heels, a wee bit of Regia. I really should have paid more attention. But she has a great selection of sock yarn. There were so many I wanted to get, but I was just like, nope, rein it in. We didn't come down here to stock up on even more sock yarn until we have knit more socks. So, that was the first one. And then, the main reason I was going down was because I'd seen in the photo that I should have gone down weeks ago when there was a sale on and there was more skeins of this yarn. I really should have gone down weeks ago because I only managed to get 2 of each colour. I managed to get the Erica Knight British Blue in these colours. And I am hoping I can either get more of these or somehow I will have enough for at least the body of a sweater. I don't know. I don't know. I was probably being too ambitious considering it's only 220 metres. But we'll see. I will see what magic I can work. See if I can maybe find someone destashing these or even another yarn shop that's selling them at a reasonable price. But I should have gone down weeks ago when they had when she had more of each of these colours, but I didn't. I thought I'd save money and I'll go down later on. And I paid the price because I only managed to get 2 of each. But it still made me very happy. And they go really well together, so like I could stripe them. That would be really nice. And then I'm running out of place to put stuff. And then I just got 2 other things whilst I was there. I saw these stitch markers. Which way are you going to sit? And I just felt I had to get them because they, oh come on. Because they're socks. Okay, that one's not cooperating. Why are they all sitting differently? I have sock stitch markers. End of story. They won't sit right. Okay, and then I saw this tin, which I knew contains stitch markers. It's cats. One has a hat, one is knitting, one has mittens and socks. No, no socks. One's got a hat, one is knitting, one's got mittens and a sweater, and one's got a scarf. And I just was like, I need this tin and these stitch markers in my life. And so, we have the same cat with a scarf, the same cat that's knitting. Okay, we've got 2 of each. So we have 2 of the cat knitting. Two of mittens. And 2 of scarfy. So I just knew I had to get them, and there was the availability to get them with a lobster clasp or to get them with a large jump ring, and I went with the jump ring. So yeah, that is the things I have bought. I love supporting my old LYS, and just getting into chat with Mary is always really good. Sorry, got an itch. I will be back down at the yarn shop on the 8th of April because I'm going back down to stay at my mum's, well, mum and dad's, the Thursday night, and then on the Friday we're going into the Wee Crafty to have a look at yarn so that I can start making the bouquets for the wedding. And I could easily go to any of the shops in Paisley that have yarn, but I want to go back down to my LYS and support her. And also mostly because, like, see the yarn that some of these shops have, it's been sitting in the window so long that it has been, like, the colour has just been bleached out of it. And so I'm just like, how long has that been sitting there for? Like, is it just the ones in the window that have, like, been sat there that long? Or is it all of their yarn? So, I would rather go down to my LYS and support them. And also, I really like the Stylecraft acrylic. I think it feels great. I think it looks great. It's not too shiny. It's not too slippery. So I'm going down with the idea to get some Stylecraft DK in the acrylic for making flowers for the bouquet. But, big but, I came across a maker on Instagram that makes felt flowers, and she sells them as a kit, or you can get the pattern through some make-alongs and stuff if you've got supplies that you already have. And the flowers look fantastic. Really, really great. And it's really swayed me. So, I have treated myself to 2 kits that should arrive tomorrow. And then I can try and at least make 1 flower. I don't have to make the full kit, or at least definitely not both kits. But I don't have to make the full kit. I just need to make maybe like 1 or 2 flowers and see what I think. Like, did I enjoy the process? Is it something I would want to do for a whole bouquet? And the reason I'm swaying towards the felt is because they look more realistic, which you wouldn't think considering it's felt. They look more realistic, and I also primarily have nearly all of the supplies. I am looking at right now a large pile of felt that I was going to de-stash, but the de-stash event fell through. So I have all this felt in colours that would be in the bouquet. That's the kicker. I have everything, but the floral wire and possibly some felt balls, but I have a needle felting kit, I have a ton of fibre, I could make my own. So that is my dilemma. Do I go crochet or do I go felt? Or do I combine the two? Do I make both? Because I done a crochet bouquet for my sister and she still has it. So that's my dilemma. It's going to take a couple of days. Even though stuff's due to arrive tomorrow, probably not going to even attempt it until it might be over a week by the time I attempt it. I'm not sure. I have a lot of things I want to do and I just don't have the time. I also just don't have the energy. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, I'm almost at burnout with my job because I have this innate ability to not say no to people. And it always comes and bites me on the ass. And so, also I've not really slept very well. The sunshine's helping, but so yeah, I'm almost at burnout for my job, so I don't want to rush into too many things. I'm only really working on those 3 projects that you saw: the hat, the dustling sweater, and the summer court tank. So I'm probably going to wrap things up about now. I've only got 5 minutes left on this recording before I'd have to hit record again. I'm going to put everything onto my laptop and try and edit this fairly quickly. I'm going to add in some footage from this past week, the drive home or the drive back this morning, one, maybe both, and then also some footage of the sunset that Scott and I saw the other day, which was really gorgeous. We didn't get the best view. I thought where we were going we'd get like a great view of the sunset, but it was a lot further round the hills than we thought it was going to be, so we didn't get the best view, but it was still really beautiful. So I'm going to add that footage in as well. What else? Was there anything else I was going to talk about? No, I genuinely do think that's me. Links to where you can find me on the likes of Instagram and Ravelry, if you still use Ravelry, can be found in the description box below as always. There's also the Facebook group if you want to come and join us there. I try and post in there regularly, but I am definitely more regular on Instagram than I am on Facebook. Apologies, but Facebook's just... I know Instagram is owned by Facebook, like I do realise that, but I just prefer Instagram. So yeah, come and find me over there. Probably just going to end up cutting this last bit out because I'm just like, I'm just trying to think, like, I'm sure there was other things. I really need to start taking notes before I do these podcasts because I just do them like on a whim. I am going to be at the Perth Festival of Yarn Scottish Showcase, which is next weekend. It is the 2nd of April. I'm going to be there from 12 until 3. Unless my anxiety kind of kicks in a bit early. I'm really hoping it doesn't. Scott's going to be with me as well, so do feel free to come say hi if you are attending. I am extremely eager to squish the Iona wool and the, I'm going to say this wrong, apologies, the Easter oo. I caught the live videos from Perth Festival of Yarn showing off those yarns as they arrived, and I was very impressed with some of the colours that they have and the natural colours. So I definitely want to go give them a squish and might end up getting them. And after that, I am on a yarn ban. I have more than enough yarn. See, this is where the guilt comes in about wanting to get the neon orange for my Marbled Magic sweater. I know I have enough yarn. I have so much yarn that I'm probably never going to use it all. But my head wants neon orange to finish off that garment. Which is the kicker. It's the absolute kicker. It's my birthday coming up. Maybe if I put that out into the world, maybe someone will get me it. But yeah, it's my birthday next month. I have no plans. I've not asked for anything. I don't really want anything. All I want is, I don't know if every Millie's Cookies does this, but in Millie's Cookies you can get a cookie slice. I don't want a big giant cookie because Scott can't eat it because he's celiac. But you can get a slice that's double layer and covered in icing. That's what I want for my birthday. Anyway, I'm going to be at Perth Scottish Showcase on the 2nd, so if you're there or you're planning on going, please let me know. We can maybe say hi. I won't be giving out any hugs, I'm still not there yet. But yeah, that will be next weekend. I will be recording and I will be putting the footage up on YouTube as well, so do keep an eye out for that. I hope you enjoy your weekend, your week, whenever you're watching this. Stay safe. Hit the thumbs up button, give this video a like, give it a subscription as well, and also share with your friends. They might like it too. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye.